Welcome back to the Wizard Shop. It's Cobra time here at Omega. We're going to take a look at this really cool 2003 Mustang Cobra. Let's get started. So welcome back, guys. This one's here, actually not for very much. It's here for a pinion seal and an inspection. And we did the inspection already. We really didn't find a whole lot wrong. But we already took care of the pinion seal. It is leak-free now. But while it's here, I thought you guys would like to check out this really sweet Cobra. It's in pretty good shape. It's kind of salty right now. The customer wanted to get it done, and when his appointment came due, he didn't care if it was salty. He didn't care. We're running through an Arctic blast right now here in Kansas. Single-digit temperatures. It's really, really bad outside. But we got this taken care of. It's almost done, and this will be here and gone before you know it, and I wanted you guys to check it out. Let's take a look under the hood. Look at that beautiful engine, guys. Four valve per cylinder, 4.6 liter with a supercharger, SVT power. 390 horsepower, 390 pound-feet of torque. This thing is really, really fast. And I can see some slight modifications here or there as we inspected the vehicle. It may actually have more power than that, I'm not sure. But this is a fast pony. The engine really fills up the engine bay on this thing. It takes up almost every spare bit of room. Hence it has hydro boost brakes. You don't see a big vacuum booster on the back of the master cylinder. That receives its boost pressure from the power steering pump. That's been around for quite a while. It's not something that's new. They've had it in Suburbans or Chevy trucks, 3/4 ton, 1 ton. But it is very good brakes. I love hydro boost brakes. They're very sensitive. It doesn't take a lot of pedal travel to have great effort on your brakes. And as you can see, there wouldn't have been room to do anything else but that on here. It looks like a rib cage right here. It looks like a person laying on their back. Really sweet engine. Let's take a look around this car. We'll look at the interior and then we'll raise it on up. The front is quintessential Cobra. It has the little Cobra emblem. It doesn't have much of a grille really, and that's kind of the way they were. It has a nice, I don't know if that's fiberglass or carbon fiber, but it's a very lightweight hood. And we go around the side. Again, it has salt spray and stuff on it. It's a little dirty, but it's not scratched or beat up or in bad shape or anything. It's got the Cobra SVT black wheels on it. Again, no dents, no scratches, lots of salt. And here on the back we see SVT Cobra. This thing sounds amazing. Before we're done here, I'll let you guys hear it. It sounds really, really good. And again, on this corner, and as we come around to this side, there's no dents or scratches. It's not caved in, no serious damage or anything. And it has these breathing holes through the hood. You can actually see through them and look at the radiator, and you can see the battery through there. Really kind of neat. Let's take a look at the interior, Mrs. Wizard. This one has almost 124,000 miles on it, but it still runs and drives fine. No check engine lights or no serious issues. The dash is in good shape. The controls are all in good shape. It has a 6-speed shifter. It has these nice seats with kind of like an Alcantara center panel with the Cobra emblems on them. Really nice seats. Interior is in pretty good shape on this one. It's a little dirty because the customer traveled a little bit of a distance to get here, which is becoming the norm anymore. People coming from all over a 5 or 6 state area. Most shops don't have to deal with that, but I'm happy to deal with it because it's good for the bank account. Again, this one's in pretty good shape. Not beat up, not torn up. I think the customer takes care of it and does good to keep it maintained. So let's go ahead and lift this thing up and see what we got underneath. Let's go ahead and take a look underneath this thing. Right away I can see that this has an aftermarket radiator on it, an aluminum Radiator with twin fans. I don't think a Cobra Mustang comes with that. We can see some sort of modification or some kind of glue or something that happened there. I'm not sure what happened. Maybe some damage or whatnot. And then there's a cooler here, very likely an oil cooler or a power steering cooler or something, but nothing's leaking there. We're very happy about that. We did have a small leak coming from here. We just added a clamp to it. This clamp was getting kind of weak. We didn't really want to pull the hose off and dump our coolant out. So what we did was just move the clamp over and put a nice new hose clamp on it, and now it is leak free. It does have this strange remote oil filter. As you can see, if you follow those lines, they go up to an oil filter housing, a K&N setup. These lines were actually hanging about this far down when it came in. We decided to put some zip ties to hold it up out of the way because that doesn't need to catch something in the road and lose all of his oil all over the road. So we took care of that. I can see that his compressor is starting to leak a little bit of PAG oil. It still works, it still runs fine. The customer just wants to leave that as is for now. But you can see they really crammed this engine in here. You can see there's the headers. There's barely enough room for them. It has a subframe here that's aftermarket Maximum Motorsports. That's probably for lowering, to lower the car. But I guess it works. Here's the headers we can see here. They come down. No leaks on the engine. The oil pan's dry. The power steering rack is dry. So everything's doing good there. Take a look at these wheels. Brakes are good. Nothing's loose there. Amazingly, there's no sway bar. I would have think there would have been, but this is all custom fabrication going on, so no leaking from the strut there. Go to this side. Nice and tight. Brake pads are good. Again, no sway bar. Maybe it was just used for drag racing on the track or something. I guess you could see where something would have went. A sway bar would have mounted here. But it's missing. Move on back to the transmission, the 6-speed transmission. And it says on the sticker it uses Dexron 3 ATF only. You wouldn't think a Ford transmission would use that, but it's probably not Ford made. No, it's a Tremec. You can see it right there. It's a Tremec. Here's our exhaust going back. Here's our beefy, girthy drive shaft. Nothing leaking here on the output shaft seal on the transmission. It's all nice and dry. You can see here that it has subframe connectors that have been welded in. This is not stock. This is to stiffen up the body when you get a lot of torque pulsing through the car, that you don't twist the body too much. And it's got some nice exhaust. These are Magnaflows. That's why it sounds so good as well. But as we move back here to this, where the drive shaft meets the differential, this entire area was coated in oil. It was just leaking out of the pinion seal really bad. Those are pretty simple to do. You just remove the drive shaft or move it out of the way. You take the center nut off and pull the flange out. But before you take the center nut off, what I do is I take a small Dremel with a tiny cutting wheel and I cut a line in the center shaft, the pinion shaft, and on the nut. Because you want to put it back exactly where it was before you took it off. You don't want to crank past that because the crush sleeve that's inside of there will get crushed too much, and then your gear lash will be all out of whack and it'll start whining and making all kind of noises, and you don't want to do that to a customer's vehicle. So I marked it. I removed all that, pulled the seal off, put a new seal on, put it back together with the nut turned exactly back where it was before. And also measured the turning torque, and everything is good to go. So we've got that replaced. We went and road tested it. No more leaks. You'll be happy about that. Let's take a look at the brakes here. They're about half gone, but they're still good. Nothing loose there. It's got some H&R springs on it. And it's got a nice beefy output shaft here. CV shaft, those are nice and dry. It also has on the back of the differential this red, I guess you could call it a girdle or something, strengthens the differential. Let's check this wheel out. The CV shaft here is good. The brakes are good. Nothing loose. And both of the shocks on both sides are nice and dry. Yep. Over the years I've worked on many of these Mustangs, different generations, 99, 2000, 01, 3, 4, and they have a seal on the gas tank that can go bad, and it's very expensive. Let me show you guys. The filler neck right there goes into the gas tank. I've seen several of those that just pours gas out of it whenever they fill up. You have to drop the tank and replace a whole bunch of different things. You can't just replace it here and see there's rubber there. That has to be replaced. The neck has to come fully out. It's a little bit involved job. It's not too bad, but I've seen several of those that leak gas all over the place. It's a common issue. I don't know why these aren't attached or what's going on there. Maybe a body kit they put on, an aftermarket body kit. So there has been some modifications done to this car, but for the most part it's easy to work on and stock. So we went ahead and took it on and took care of it for him. Let's go ahead and get this thing lowered on the ground. So a lot of people have asked me what makes a Cobra so special, and it's basically just a Mustang, but they've got way upgraded powertrain packages. The engine, the transmission, and several things like that have upgrades, supercharged, more power, maybe a little bit of suspension tweaks. But like the differential, I just put the pinion seal on. There's nothing special about it. It's a Ford 8.8 that they used in 1989, 1999, 2001, 1982. It's the same seal for all of those differentials. So that's not special. The differential is nothing better than you would find on a V6 Mustang. The interior has the better seats. It has some appointments and things that are a little better, but otherwise it's a Mustang GT inside of it. There's not a whole lot different other than powertrain and power. That's really where it's at. That's where the rubber meets the road, horsepower. Yes, the engine is warmed up. We just road tested it. That sounded really good, and it smells like no cats. Anyways, it sounds really, really good. That is American muscle. That's one thing about these Mustangs, whether it's a GT, a Cobra, a Mach 1, the engines have such a great sound to them. I can remember even back when I was a kid in the summer, 1989, 1990, I'd be sitting around playing with my friends and I could hear one off in the distance, and you know that is not a Camaro. That is not an SL 500 Mercedes. That is a Mustang. You know it is. It sounds really good. Whatever Ford has done to get that sound out of their 4.6 liter or even the 5 liter engines, it is absolutely amazing. That's one thing I really love about these Mustangs. If you're curious what kind of tools we use to do this pinion seal, check my Amazon affiliates link in the description below. All my tools that I use in the shop are listed there for sale, and we get a small cut, and I really appreciate it. If you haven't hit the subscribe button already, I really recommend you do that now, because we've been working hard on the Oldsmobile, the Malibu, and many other projects. And yes, there's a yacht video coming. Again, thanks for watching.